Blessings, beautiful souls. This is Jules with the Becoming Bio Quantum podcast. And oh, I am sure you're just already looking at this beautiful light being that is with me. And if you're on this podcast, just feel into her energy. I have Tatiana with me today, and I've been looking forward to this for such a long time. And I'm really excited to see where this conversation goes. We're going to be talking about manifesting and tapping into building community, and whether you are an entrepreneur or you're just wanting to connect to soul family, or you're in a time where you're shedding things and you're stepping into your power, maybe even for the first time, this is going to be an amazing space for you to step into. So we're just going to create this container for you to come in and fill your heart space so that you feel empowered to go and live your best life. So Tatiana, welcome. And I'm just going to have you introduce yourself, and then we'll go into a wonderful conversation here.
Jules, thank you so much. It is such an honor to be here, to be sharing my wisdom with your community. Thank you for inviting me. My name is Tatiana Ivanva, and I'm a purpose and alignment mentor for women entrepreneurs and founder of the Purpose to Profit Academy. So excited to share everything I know about manifestation, energy, growing your soulmate community, and so much more. Thank you.
That gave me chills. It's so in alignment with just where we are right now. And I know there's a lot of energies coming in to kind of shift us into really stepping into a space of mastery as light workers and way showers. And whether we're doing that through a business or we're just doing it with our family or a community, it's really a place where I feel like bringing consciousness into that space of this shift is how we can kind of navigate it and use those energies to live our best lives, but also be in service to others. So I'm just going to allow you to kind of take that and talk a little bit about what you're working on and how you're supporting people in doing that.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So, what I see is happening, especially this year. This is such a powerful year for all of us, purpose-driven entrepreneurs, to step into our inner power and really amplify our impact and contribution to the world. And what I'm seeing is I'm working with people from all over the world is people have a vision, people have a purpose. They want to serve, they want to heal, they want to transform people's lives. Now, um, what I see is that they are creating their businesses and lives outside from their big vision. Thinking, again, thinking, we'll talk about thinking versus knowing, right? Thinking that it's still somewhere else in the future. It's a year away, it's 5 years away. They have those big visions that have been planted deep in their hearts and souls, yet they don't see any results. And the reason why they're not having results is that they are manifesting, they're creating outside their vision, thinking that they're separate from it, thinking that they're not there yet, thinking that there is, still so much for them to learn, to grow, this comparison game. She's much more ahead than me. Who am I? So when I realized and I started teaching my clients to really embody your version, the version of you who's already living that vision, because that vision is your ultimate destination. This is what you have chosen before even coming into this physical reality. Then people realize, oh my God, yes, because this is where I feel true to myself. This is where I feel who I am really in my core, in my essence. So when they tap into that power of their soul, of their highest self, and really start embodying that vision as it is now, as they're creating it now, as they're that version now, they see remarkable results right away.
Mm-hmm.
They see all those shifts and synchronicities and opportunities and people and clients and money, it's all starting to really manifest around them.
Mm.
So, yeah, this illusion of separation has been running all our lives. We think that we're separate from our desires, from our dreams, from our visions. We're not. We are there now.
I love that you're saying this. What I'm feeling into as you're speaking is, and I love that you went from the mind to thinking to knowing, because I feel like that is always step one. Because once we start to live there, we're living from that authentic place where it's not the ego trying to drive something. Because when we try to manifest from a place of desire from the mind, it's to either we're in resistance to what we have, or we're trying to make something happen. And we're just more, I call it the third level of consciousness and down. But when we go into that space, that's what I kept feeling as you were talking is like, oh, finally, I get to just be who I am and have that be enough. And the more that I rest and surrender into that, the more my heart opens to allow the divine to work through me, or that intelligence of the universe to work through me. And that's really what I heard in your words. But what I want to go to, just because I can hear people asking this question of the vision, right? So how do we connect into that vision where it's from that authentic place? And how do we know when we're there and not here? Because that's the biggest part, right? Is like knowing that first and then following.
Absolutely. And it's such an essential question because I feel like, our journey is really, going from our headspace, mind, ego space, going into our heart, opening our heart, connecting to our soul. And it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. It's a consistent, very, uh, the process where you come with intention, consistency, and focus, right? So when you are connected to your heart and soul, this is where you are connected to the pure, the true version of yourself. And you feel your desires, you see them in your mind's eye. They come as an inner knowing, as something very true to your heart. So creating your vision from your heart is key because it manifests so much faster, because the entire universe will be guiding you and supporting you and sustaining you on your path of creating that vision. So it is intentional process to drop from your head space, mind, ego space into your heart space. And for me, morning practices every day, every morning, coming into my heart, opening my heart, really expanding my love energy, and then connecting to the pure essence of me, which I call soul or the highest self, and really connecting to my soul's desires, heart's desires, and seeing that vision as the manifestation of those desires in the physical. So, did I answer your question? Do you think that was,
Yes, yes, that
yeah?
was beautifully said. So I want to go in a little bit more into that last space of a vision. And I always like to tap into the ones that are listening. And a few of them are tapping into this place of like, I have the ability to envision from my imagination, right? But it's how do I take that to a place where my vision becomes my imagination, maybe I should say, becomes my knowing, because there's still like this little bit of disconnect there of one is a little bit more projection through the mind. I can almost kind of feel of like, oh, what would it be like? And all of that is wonderful. And I think I'm already answering my question here because I can feel the energy coming through you. But it's bringing them to a place where they can have that imagination or that vision be a place that they live in through their heart space. I hope I'm like saying this in the right way. I'm trying, everyone.
Yes, yes. So that vision that you're talking about that's coming from your heart, it has this essence of your true vision. It's an inner knowing. It feels completely different in your body. And the reason why you feel it in your body is because, to manifest this vision into your physical reality, you get to embody
Mm.
that vision first. You get to embody that version of you first. So for me, the most important tools for manifestations are embodiment and the inner knowing.
Mm.
Yes, you can work with your mind and with your beliefs. And I strongly suggest that as you start your journey to self development and deeper layers of self-realization. Yes, it's important to organize, to be like really clear and understand your dynamics, your patterns, your conditioning. But then once you are, you control your mind, not your mind is controlling you, but you know that you are the conscious creator of your life. That's when it's easier to start really this embodiment work. And I don't want to say work as hard work. It's a beautiful and pleasant process of becoming, embodying, and really remembering who you are on the deep level. So once you start embodying, doing morning practices, and really feeling as you already are living in your vision now, that's when magic, like real magic, happens around you in your business, in your personal life. Yes.
So beautiful. Okay, so I want to take this to I want to take it to bringing that place of service. And, but also when you were saying work, this just came to me. So I'm like going to sidetrack here is, I use the word practice. And I like to see it, like we're training for our Olympic events. And it's something that we have to come and just pour into every single day because if you think about a Olympic athlete, like they are the chosen, right? They were chosen, and then they have to show up and train to be the best that they could be. And this is no different. We just practice it every day to be the best that we can be within that own heart space and connecting into our authentic space. And so we're the Olympic athletes of our own life. And so instead of it being work, it's practice because the more we practice, the better we get. And then we hit that mastery level. But we were talking a little bit before we got on, and I just love this so much of when we can bring that desire at that heart space, that vision of creation and bring it into a space of service, that it really shifts the frequency. So I want to talk a little bit about that.
Absolutely. And I want to share the process that has made, huge shifts and differences in the way I run my business and the way I create that vision for my business and for my community into the real life. So with visioning, I love visioning. I'm very visual. I know a lot of people, light workers and coaches, they're also very visual. So for me, seeing this to manifest it into the physical plays a big role. So what I do, I create three different visions for myself. And I start with the big vision, my personal vision, right? Like what I would love and desire to create an experience for me and for my family. And that vision comes directly from my heart and soul. I feel those, places where I want to travel. I feel that relationship with my husband. I feel us as a family. So it's this beautiful personal vision. And then what I do, I create a vision for my business, where I would like to be with my business, with my brand, let's say 2 to 3 years from now, right? And it's a beautiful process of just imagining and dreaming and seeing yourself, really impacting people in the big way, magnifying my impact, sharing my message, working with so many amazing individuals. And then there is the third part, which is the magical little, the golden nugget. I have this vision for my community, how I serve my clients, how I pour into them so they really, heal and transform and awaken just being in my presence and in my space. And I'm very clear and detailed about that community vision and how I build that community and how I relate to those women and how they relate to each other and what we do together. So what I do actually, I focus on that golden nugget every day. How can I grow my community? How can I serve my community? How can I help these beautiful individual souls, women? So, and what happens when I focus on service and contribution and growing my community, that naturally really takes care of my business vision. And my business vision naturally takes care of my personal vision. So if you want to try this, where you just have this vision for you, not just, this is one of the visions, but focus on serving and giving value and contributing to your community, to your people, and see how magical that energy of contribution, pure contribution from your heart, how it ripples into all areas of your life.
Mm, you know what I hear in what you're saying is connection first, right? And I feel like that's one space that more and more businesses, and not just light workers, but just business in general, is it used to be this place of manipulation of, oh, trigger them to buy and trigger them to do this and trigger them. And it was just so, I've never resonated with it and I've never played the game. And it was always just connect, connect, connect. And then in that connection, it's informed, right? There's an informed choice to become a part of something. And that's where we're moving as as conscious humans, is that we're starting to bypass these trigger responses to creating informed conscious decisions. And that's what we would want for ourselves, but it's also what we would want for others. And when we come together in collaboration from that place, is when magic happens and that everybody wins. And so that's what I was hearing as you were speaking. So I just wanted to highlight that because we're so ready for that shift in the world. And it's not even just in business. It's like you can look at those aspects in every part of your life is, where am I making my choice from? And that also goes back to where we started this whole thing is, am I choosing from here? Am I choosing from an emotional trigger within my body? Or am I choosing from this authentic place? And so it's not just where I start my business from, but it's also where I invite others to live their life from. And I just think it is, I just want to highlight you. And I think it's amazing. Okay. Do you have a response to that before we move on?
I love that. We are moving from reactive trigger based consciousness in personal lives, in businesses for sure. I never resonated with, triggers, hooks, give them this, see if they, react. For me, and where I see, great results in my business is the more I pour into my people, the more, change I create in the world, the more open up my heart to give and receive. It's a beautiful cycle. It's a beautiful flow of giving love and receiving love. But with that, you also have to be conscious about, being open to give and receive. And to me, business and personal life is about opening up to give love and receive love. Yes. So beautiful. I love the trigger thing. Absolutely. Yes.
Oh, let's go into a little bit of that giving and receiving because I just feel everyone just went so often when we're first stepping into kind of honoring our gifts and going to that authentic place. I know that this is a place that a lot of light workers and way showers get stuck in, is that they're really good at giving, 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 but sometimes they're not so good at receiving. So I'd love to just talk a little bit about that. I just feel like people would really get a lot from your wisdom in that space, because it's just one that people just trip and fall all the time around.
Yes. And I can relate to that. You know, we women are naturally good at giving. We're caregivers, we give, but we are not, a lot of us are not very open to receiving money, receiving value, receiving recognition, compliments, just receiving in general. So, in that regard, with giving and receiving, one essential element is seeing value in what you're giving, seeing value in yourself, and knowing your value as an exchange of energy. So when you start tapping into the value of who you are, the value of your message, the value of your purpose, the value of your time, you naturally start valuing yourself. So yes, there's space for contribution and unconditional giving, but there's also space for you to deliver value at your highest, service, owning your full value and really serving your clients from a different space, owning your full value, giving value and receiving value. So from that perspective, you not just give and you don't receive anything, you actually realize who you are, what you are giving, at which level there is not just giving and no receiving. You do create services, you do create offerings, you do invite people to step into different containers of working with you, and
Mm.
that also activates their value. They feel that they can invest in themselves, you see, and that really boosts their value, internal value. So by really stepping into your value, you activate value within other people as well.
Mm, it's such an amazing answer. You know what I was feeling into too, and it's like when you take that and you put it into this energetic space, is now more than ever, I feel as people are kind of, I feel like for a while there we were in this paradigm where it's, oh, just give me the magic pill and I'm going to get there, right? Or I'm going to buy this next little magic thing and it's going to change my life. And I feel like more and more people are moving out. It's almost kind of connected to that trigger buying, right? And now people are moving more into this place of recognizing what I invest in myself in that practice and learning the tools to advance my life is so much more valuable than just this trigger thing. And that they're willing more now than ever to invest in themselves by connecting to that learning a process or learning the tools or having the coaching kind of thing, where I mean, there's no better value than that, than to learn how to step into that space and live from that space. Because once you know how to live from that space, you're unstoppable. And so instead of looking for the magic pill, like I keep seeing the Matrix, the red pill or the blue pill, right? It's like, are you going to go and are you going to just like blow your mind and totally change your life? And, of course, we want them to live into this magic place, which is always there and available. Um, I think you know where I'm going with that. So let's talk just a little bit about that kind of paradigm shift of the heal me, I'm a victim mentality to empower me so that I can empower others mentality.
Absolutely. And you're absolutely right. We're shifting, we're actually raising as a collective, our consciousness level has been rising over the years. And now we make as a collective, this is what I feel like, we're making more conscious choices. And we realize that there's no magic pill, there's no overnight success, the entire process of becoming or embodying, her, that version of you who already has it all, it's a process where you start seeing it from a different perspective. um, the process itself is beautiful. The growth is beautiful. Becoming is beautiful. You start seeing all those AK problems and difficulties as just opportunities for you to grow even more and embody even more. So I think I feel that we're becoming more conscious in the way we perceive different processes. And we realize we see deeper. We don't see a problem, we see it as an opportunity.
Mhm.
And I say that because I'm noticing this shift in my community, in the people I work with. We're becoming more conscious, which is great.
I, that was so beautifully said. So let's step back into the manifesting space because I know we have, I just like you said, this whole entire year. I mean, we are in an 8 year too, right? So this whole entire year is creating this beautiful energy for us to use those. Maybe in the past, we would say are negative things or things that are challenging, but that we can actually use those challenging things to actually boost our manifestation and to shift in faster ways. And it's not about getting to the end, it's about the journey and mastering the journey itself. And there's so much mastery in using challenging situations to evolve at a very fast rate. So I'd love to just talk a little bit about that because I know that that's such a huge part of manifesting because anytime we're moving to a higher frequency, there's going to be things for us to release and shed to be able to hold that frequency and self-actualize there. So let's talk about like what you would kind of maybe a takeaway that we could use as we kind of journey through those spaces.
Absolutely. And it's essential to realize that we all go through a process of becoming, of embodying. And so, what has been working for me is to actually shift my perception on, problems that arise on my way. And when I hit a roadblock or I, experience something unpleasant, I always look for a benefit. I always look for a resource, a hidden gift that the situation is teaching me about me, teaching me about my perception about life, about myself. So I see every problem as an opportunity, as a, gift, as a blessing in disguise. So my little practice that I can share with you is just I would just slow down. I really would advise you to drop from your mind into your heart space, slow down, breathe, and ask yourself, what is this? What is the benefit in this for me? What is the resource? What is the gift? What am I learning from this situation? And I usually journal. Journaling is my one of my favorite practice, and the answer is within. You just, you journal that answer, and you realize, oh, this is what I'm learning. Oh, this is what I need, that little piece of like information or wisdom or knowledge to move to where I want to go. We are always guided. We're always guided. And this guidance sometimes comes in the roadblocks and obstacles. But when you shift your perception and you don't see them as like, oh my God, I'm a little victim, things are happening to me, you see those obstacles as blessings in disguise that are happening for you to get where you want to go. So every time there's something unpleasant happens, celebrate it because there's a gift that's hidden behind that. You see, shift your not reaction, shift your response, and you will see that manifestation is a magical journey.
I love that. And I love how sometimes it really is just a shift of perspective. And so often when we have, these problems arise, it's like alignment is all that's really happening. And then our perception of that alignment is whether or not we're going to suffer through it or we're going to feel the blessings and, and even if it's where I can't really see a blessing, but I'm going to connect my energy to the blessing of this regardless because there's times I've had things happen in my life and I just am like, you know what? It just doesn't matter what I feel about it. It doesn't. Like if I feel one way or the other, is it really going to change what's happening? So instead of having this judgment of good or bad, I'm just going to move into the frequency of the shift and align my energy with the shift itself. And then all of a sudden, it's just everything opens up because I'm in alignment with the shift. And so often when we be like, but I don't want this, I don't want to align with that. But when we stop resisting it is when things actually start to open up and flow. So I love that. I love that answer. And I feel like more and more we're going to be asked to continually shift and grow because whether it's our internal process or problem or if it's something that's just kind of chaotic within our environment, there's always going to be things. And you know what's coming to me? I'm just going to bring this forth. Is so often we think, oh, well, if I'm living this high frequency life, bad things never happen. And that is absolutely not true. When you're living a high frequency life, you shine brighter when chaos happens. And that's the level of mastery. That's what it is to be a master of. To be a master doesn't mean that you live in the cave and everything is wonderful. It means that you walk in mastery no matter what's happening.
Jules, this is so brilliant. Yes. Yes, to every word that you just shared. Absolutely. It's the mastery. We become masters of our life, of our, purpose-driven businesses. It's the process. The process makes us, become masters of life. Absolutely.
Oh, I love this. Okay, so I'm going to open this now up to you, Tatiana, to share something that maybe we haven't covered, or if your heart is just wanting to bring through a message. I know we pulled a code before we got on, and it was 7, which is the messenger, the channeler, and gosh, there's so many wonderful little just sweet spots of messages that you've brought through today, but I want to give you the opportunity to totally open up and feel free to take the platform and speak your voice if you would like.
Thank you. Thank you. What's coming through me right now is I want to share about another illusion that we are believing as a collective, and that illusion is illusion of unworthiness,
Mm.
not being good enough, not being there, not being smart enough. It's like this all not enoughness. It's a pandemic. It's a global pandemic, and we talked about connecting to our heart and soul and leading our lives, leading our businesses, leading our lives from that space. And in that space, the essence of you is worth, divine worth. It's your truth. It's who you are. So it's essential for you to really tap into your worth and know that you're not separate from it. You're already her. You're already this beautiful, sacred, divine human being who is here for a reason. There's a purpose why you're here. So it is essential to connect to your heart, to your soul energy, to really own your, I would say, sacred worthiness as a human being. So there are two illusions of separation, that we're separate from our visions, and we're not worthy of the vision, not worthy of beautiful things, and those are illusions. They don't exist. They exist only in the prism of our, perception mind. But here we are worthy, divine human beings. And that completely shifts your energy. And that completely shifts the way you go through your day, how you relate to other people, how you share your message and purpose. And it's the essential part of you. So my I would highly recommend for you to really establish this connection, deep connection with your heart and soul, feel and own your sacred worthiness and in humanness, and embody it as you go through your day.
I love how you just had your hands at your heart and you shut your eyes and you went there, right? It's just that simple is okay, I'm back. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's part of that Olympic training as a master is to know thyself as the divine, know thyself as that beautiful soul that is connected in a place of purity. And then the rest of it just goes away, right? It's like so much easier if we just go here first. And that's what I felt when you did that action and shut your eyes. I was like, ah, I know that space too. Oh, that's
Beautiful.
so
Yeah.
wonderful. Okay, Tatiana, well, I know we're going to put some links of different places for people to connect with you and different things that you have coming up. And do you have a website or an Instagram that you would like to also just do a shout out for as well?
Yes. I would like to share a beautiful masterclass on embodying your highest self. I go into the process of embodiment, and it's a beautiful process of becoming. So I would like to gift this beautiful masterclass to your community.
Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. So we'll put that link in the show notes below as well. What an amazing gift. Thank you so much for that.
So, yes.
Well, Tatiana, is there anything else that you would like to just end with? I feel like you've had so many amazing things to share, but I just want to give you just one more opportunity to kind of close this and just let you take that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And to add to everything we just, discussed and shared, I feel that it is essential to be very present with yourself, with your life, and stay in your presence, your divine presence, your life presence, your action presence, because we can only create beautiful, magnificent things if we're ultra present with ourselves and our life as it unfolds, and we see that we're always guided and supported, and the answers are right here if we only slow down and notice them. So everything that we discussed is beautiful when we're present and we're aware. If we are running busy, focused on the outside, looking for answers somewhere outside of us, this whole thing that we just shared will not have, that value for you, and you won't be experiencing the results you're looking for unless you're present and aware, unless you're connected, unless you see and notice that everything is right here right now for you.
Ah, so beautifully said. Well, thank you so much for bringing your wisdom today. And this was just such a, oh, divine, right? That's the word I want to get. Just an authentic, divine conversation. And I really appreciate you bringing your love to everybody that is listening today because we feel you or bringing you into this space where you can start to live your life in that authentic, beautiful, divine space in a place of presence so that you can begin to manifest the magic and the miracles that we're all here to experience. Thank you, Tatiana.
It's so beautiful, Jules. It's my pleasure. Thank you for creating the space. Thank you for serving your people with so much love and dedication. It's been an honor. An honor. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for listening. And until next time, we're sending you lots of love and a big quantum hug. Bye bye.